and we can dribble the ball against their pressure, and then we go to their place not a week later, and that was one of our better all-around games at Klein Forest on that Tuesday night. Determination, defense, teamwork were the keys in that wonderful victory. Sasha got in some foul trouble. Camille stepped up and gave some quality minutes. Our defense, we held a team that comes in averaging high 50s, low 60s points per game, and I don't think they got 40 that night. But it was just the determination and the look in our players' eyes that night, especially on the defensive end, and the cohesiveness that took us to the win that night. And that was one of our better wins as well. Decaney, second game against Decaney. The first game against Decaney wasn't a bad game. We just had a bad second quarter, if you remember. But other than that, we were even with those guys. The second game at our place against Decaney, 57-48. I'm at the state tournament this weekend in Austin. We got back at 1 a.m. This morning. You get a program. You can buy a $4 state tournament program, and it lists pictures of all the teams that are at state, and it lists their opponents and the scores and everything. And you go down and you look at Decaney and all the teams that they beat and so forth, and you look at the results and the scores. We played them as far as the outcome of a game and points, 57-48. That was the closest game they had. They lost one game all year. That was their very first game against Galena Park North Shore, and then they went on a 39-0 run. But looking throughout their record, even Collins and all the tough tournament teams that they played in their tournaments, 57-48, we gave them a run for the money there, and very proud of our team. And it's been that way. We played Decaney tough. We're not intimidated. We took them to overtime last year, and a great compliment, and I may have shared this with my team throughout the year, but I want you guys as parents and everybody to know this. Stacy Stroman is the coach at Decaney, and she has the utmost respect for our players. If we would have been able to beat that Atascocita team in the playoffs, and then we could have possibly, I think we had a really good chance at winning the second round, 2 games into the playoffs, who would we have met up with in the third round? Decaney. I go to College Station to watch their second round game, and their assistant coach, varsity assistant coach from last year's in the bleachers, he left to take a head job. But I was talking to him in the bleachers that night, and he was telling me that, yeah, when Stacy, Coach Stroman, the Decaney head coach, looked at the bracket and saw that if she wins 2 and Oak wins 2, that we could have a rematch with them. And this is his words, girls, that Coach Stroman didn't want to see us again. And as a coach, that makes, you want to get that respect and those compliments from your peers, from other coaches, and we definitely did from one of the top schools, not only in our district, but the area, and making it to the state championship game like that Decaney team did. So those are things that, as a coach, I take a lot of pride in, and they put me in a position to feel proud of that as a coach, and that was pretty cool. That second Klein Forest game, and I apologize, I'm going through, getting detailed here, but these girls deserve it, and this is a night to look back and reminisce and so forth. And that second game at our place, senior night, special night, we were down 10 at halftime. We take it to them in the second half, 32-19 in the second half. We end up winning by 3. If y'all remember right, we came out in the third quarter. We scored the first 11 points of the third quarter. Sasha had the first 7 or 9 of those 11 points, and that was a fun second half to watch. But that just shows the character of these girls. Already, in our memory bank, we know that Forest beat us up at the Willis tournament. Okay? We beat them the first round, and here we are at our place senior night. We go to our little meeting room at halftime, and we're down 10. We could have just had bad thoughts and so forth, but these girls ran out on that court in the second half and believed in one another, believed in themselves, and got the job done. And that was fun to see. Playoff game. What atmosphere! I'll tell you what. I didn't count. But I guarantee you, it was at their place, as you know, but we had them outnumbered 2-1 in that gym that night. And thank you, parents, for being there. A lot of sub-varsity kids and sub-varsity parents came and supported us that night. I appreciate that. That was a tremendous atmosphere, and that's what this journey that we were on was all about, getting to that playoff game and being able to soak up that playoff atmosphere. And what a game. You know, we shot 57%, those tops on the year. 67-60 was the final. Obviously, it didn't come out the way we wanted it to, but what a fun game to watch. Not only, you know, was I blessed enough to be in a situation to coach that, I was entertained that game. There wasn't much coaching to be done. You know, we just simply had to beat their press, and we got it to an open spot, and we were knocking down shots left and right. Everybody. You know, DJ had a tremendous night. You know, she led us with 24 points, but there were people, there were guards and so forth that got it from point A to point B to put her in that situation to lead us in scoring that night. And that was a fun night. Obviously, we wish we could have won that game and advanced on, but you know, I don't think in that locker room after the game that we had any regrets. I mean, obviously we were disappointed, we were hurt. It's painful to have your season come to an abrupt ending, but at the same time, I think we were able to look at one another and look at each other's eyes and say, hey, you know, we put it out there, and we have no regrets, and our effort was where it needed to be, and our intensity was where it needed to be. We just fell a little short to a good team, to a real good team. That team ended up winning their second round playoff game, and then Dekaney beat them in the third round. Talking about wins, but as I mentioned earlier, it's the process, it's the journey that's fun, because you only put on the uniform twice a week. Okay, what do you do in between the times when the light's shining and the music's playing and the pregame music that y'all love and Coach Vance loves? What do you do in between showtime? Okay, yes, showtime's fun and all those wins are fun, but it's the journey, it's the process that is just as enjoyable. The moments, the memories, you know, the girls trying to pull one over me by you know, we just left the school, we're on a bus, you know, and we're going wherever, and Coach Vance, I left my shoes. Coach Vance, I don't have my uniform. Coach Vance, I thought you said we're wearing black, I have a white uniform. You know, and Coach, pretty soon you soon not to believe it.
Coach, there's a roach on you.
Yeah. I don't do bugs. I don't wear bugs. Another memory that Michelle just brought up, if you didn't hear, I guess it was during film. It was late here, wasn't it? Yeah. They probably let the roach sit on my shoulder for God knows how long before they told me. But it's those memories. It's your daughters opening up and being cool enough kids to let their coach's daughter hang out on the bus with them and listen to whatever Camille subjected my daughter to. Hannah Montana. You know, those are things. Haley still talks about it. You know, Mom, what's DJ doing? You know what? She thinks DJ hung the moon, which we all do, of course. But you know, it's those memories. It's I remember stopping practice late in the year. It seemed like it was Monday or Thursday before a big game. It might have been before the Forest game or something. And as you all know, we had certain kids that started and certain kids that didn't play as much as they would like. That's the dynamic of a lot of teams, and it was the dynamic of our team. But I remember stopping practice after watching the intensity of Ashley, Michelle, Courtney, Caitlin, Nick defending our starting five. Okay? Stopping practice and saying, thank you for busting your butt and sacrificing yourself for the good of the team and pushing your teammates the way they need to be pushed. And I hope I said that enough. I know I did that particular day, because I was just, you know, I turned to Sydney as I normally do and said, I mean, that's awesome. That's what a true team is, and that's what a true team does. That they bring it every day, and they show that character. Very proud of that.